What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to do a Social Security update, and we're going to take a look at Representative Ferguson. He's going to be asking questions of these experts about reforming Social Security. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification, clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. And just a reminder, thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. And you can also support us by joining our memberships. Just click the join button below. You'll get customized emojis as well as custom badges. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look and a listen to Representative Ferguson asking questions of the experts about Social Security reform. Here we go.
Dr. Swagel, I want to start with you and talk to you about, you made a comment that just kind of caught me off. You suggested that one way of fixing this problem are general fund transfers to address the shortfall. If we did that, if we used that methodology, talk to us just very briefly about what that would do to the federal debt and deficit each year, and what that potentially could do to interest rates and the amount of interest that the taxpayers are already paying.
Yes, sir. As I said, the shortfall could be, addressed in many ways. Transferring funds from general revenues, the amount of dollars that would be needed in our projections is nearly $400 billion in 2033 and about $550 billion in 2034. And in real dollars, the Treasury would have to come up with those additional dollars. That would mean either reductions in other spending or additional borrowing. That would mean more crowding out and impact on interest rates and so on.
And given our level of debt right now, that does not seem like a viable option. That's not a question. That's a statement from me. I also want to ask you about, in the shortfall category, we hear a lot about, the income cap right now. If people are making more than $168,000 a year, they're not paying their fair share. Currently, if you're paying above that, you're not, even if you're paying $168,000 a year, paying Social Security taxes on $168,000 a year, there's still a shortfall. I mean, there's a difference between what you're paying in and what you're actually getting back. And then and we've always tied the level of benefit to earnings, correct? So if you raise the cap, then in theory, you would also raise the amount of earnings that people were eligible for down the road, or you would have to simply say, the answer is you're going to pay more in taxes, but you're going to receive less benefit. Is that a fair assessment?
That's right. In some sense, the system as a whole is progressive. So thinking of lifetime benefits against lifetime contributions, the bottom quintile of people, with the bottom quintile, the lowest 20% of lifetime earners, gets about 2.5 times back in benefits as what they pay in contributions. People in the middle get about 1.5 times. The top 20% on average gets about 1, so it's 1 to 1. So that's the sense in which the system as a whole is progressive.
And it's my understanding.
Okay, and this is important. He's talking about the system is progressive. So when it comes to wealthy people, and once you reach that $168,600, I'm not saying that you're wealthy, but you no longer have to pay into the payroll contribution. And the reason that it's set up that way is because you're not going to receive any more in benefits if you contribute more, if you contribute over that $168,600. And so the people on the lower end, they're actually getting more when it comes to benefits, even though the amount, trust me, the amount is very low, but when you compare it to what they've contributed, they're getting more of the pie than a wealthy person when you compare what they've contributed, if that makes sense. So that's the argument against raising the cap. So you hear politicians talk about we need to raise the cap, so people making over $400,000 should be paying into the payroll contribution. Yes, that would fix the problem when it comes to the program, but those people will be contributing and they won't be receiving anything extra in Social Security benefits. And so that is the argument against it. And I've stated this before, and I'll continue to say this. When it comes down to it, the payroll contribution, just across the board, raising of the payroll contribution is probably the best viable option. Now, what lawmakers need to do is they need to explain this to the American people. And they need to explain to the American people, look, this is the bind that we're in right now. In 10 to 11 years, we could be looking at a cut of 23% across the board. That could impact you and your retirement. Would you be willing to contribute 2% more and have your employer contribute 2% more? Would you be willing to do that? That way, you won't see this 23% cut in 10 or 11 years. I think the average person would say, yes, I'm okay with that. I'll contribute a little bit more. I don't have a problem with doing that as long as I can be guaranteed that I will receive 100% of my Social Security benefits when I retire, okay? So that is the trade-off there. That is what lawmakers have to sell. But you have some lawmakers that are afraid to sell that. Why? Because instead of calling FICA a contribution, which that's what it is, they're calling it a tax, a payroll tax. And no politician wants to be known for raising taxes. And so that's the problem there. But when you explain it to the people as this is a contribution, because that is what it is, you're contributing now, so when you retire, people will be working and they'll be contributing to help you retire, to go to your Social Security benefits. So that's where we are right now.
And that if we subjected all earnings in the U.S. to the Social Security payroll tax, we'd still have about a $10 trillion shortfall over the next 75 years.
Yeah, so I don't have that number in my head. I can tell you if we increase the taxable share back to 90%, it's around 82.5 now, so made 90% taxable, that would delay exhaustion by 4 years. If we said everything above $250,000 is taxable, that would delay exhaustion by 13 years. So it makes a difference, but it's, there's still a challenge after that.
Okay. Mr. Goss, question for you. When you look at what Social Security has done in terms of enhancing benefits and paying out more, would you say that couples that retire now, on average, receive a much greater benefit than, say, couples that retired back in the 90s? Adjusted for dollars.
Well, if we look at benefits, as Barry indicated, the nature of the benefit formula is that it tends to rise with the average wage over time. So that people from one generation to the next, if they've had higher wage levels, a higher standard of living, that Social Security benefits has been intended to maintain, therefore a higher benefit level to give them a similar replacement rate. In that regard, individuals and couples now who are retiring and getting benefits are not really receiving more than generations in the past. In fact, one of the major changes, obviously, in the 1983 amendments was to change the normal retirement age, which increased it by what? From 65 up to 67.
So,
and that actually lowered the average monthly benefit for people, all else equal.
So it's you would argue with the fact that a couple who turned 65 in 1990 on average receive $590,000 in lifetime benefits, and that's adjusted for 2023 dollars. When compared to a couple that turned 65 in 2020, they were projected to receive $812,000. And I look at it, and it looks like that the formula has actually increased, has pushed up the amount of lifetime earnings that a couple could see. Now, I say this to say that, we have seen an increase in benefits over the years. It's not to argue that it's perfect, but we have seen that increase. Mr. Houston, I want to touch on one other thing, if I could, talking about, the other things that our seniors, and look, seniors depend on this program, and we have an obligation, and it's important that we honor that Congress honors what it said it would do for the recipients of these benefits. But I look at this and I think to myself, in 50 years, there have been a lot of other programs that are out there to help seniors as well. I'm going to tick through just a small list of these things. SNAP program, Older Americans Act, Housing Choice Vouchers, Weatherization Assistance Program, the LEHIP or Low Income Home Energy Assistance Program, Lifeline programs, reverse mortgages, the Seniors Farmers Market Nutrition Program. My point is you can go on and on. And I think Congress as a whole over the years, while it has made adjustments, while the formula for Social Security has said we're going to see an increase in payments, but we've also done an awful lot to make sure that seniors have resources in many other areas for housing and food assistance and quite candidly, Medicare with health care as well. And there have been some great things that we've done there. So I think it's a little bit disingenuous to say that seniors don't have any other lifelines and this is the only thing. It's simply, we've got a lot, that seniors have a lot that they can depend on. And I think Congress has been very thoughtful in making sure that they've got the resources that they need. Again, I want to thank you for y'all's testimony. And now,
Okay, so that was Representative Ferguson. He actually chairs this House Ways and Means Subcommittee on Social Security. You heard what he said there at the very end, talking about the different programs that are available for seniors. And I have a lot of seniors that watch my channel. I want you guys to sound off in the comments. What do you think about what he said? Because the way that he was talking, he said, you know what, Social Security, you don't need anymore. You don't need an increase to Social Security benefits because you have all these other programs. He mentioned reverse mortgages, which I just thought was outrageous for him to say that. Yeah, you have that program. So if you own a house, you can get a reverse mortgage. It's just, I mean, it's crazy. Some of these politicians are just really out of touch. And they're looking at Social Security and they say, well, Social Security shouldn't be your only lifeline, which you should have a retirement plan set up, but some people don't have that. And if they're relying 100% or even 80% or even 60% on Social Security benefits, they're going to be struggling. And it is our duty to help those people. But he's talking about all these other programs, the Lifeline program and some of these other programs that he's mentioning. Those programs aren't as beneficial as Social Security, so just provide an increase for those people receiving Social Security benefits. Or at least means test it and have the people at the lower end, people who are living below the poverty line or around the poverty line, raise them up to that 125% of the poverty line. That's what you need to do. But instead, he wants to talk about, and Representative Ferguson's been one that's talked about raising the full retirement age and things like that. That's what they want to talk about. They want to talk about actually cutting Social Security. And what their argument will be, well, we can cut Social Security, but we'll provide you these other programs. We'll let you do a reverse mortgage. I mean, it's just crazy. So I just, sometimes when I listen to these lawmakers, it does frustrate me because I'm not currently receiving Social Security benefits, but I'm retired. But in 15 years, I'm going to want to collect some Social Security benefits. And you have politicians out there right now that just want to do away with the program and say, yes, we have other programs for you. You can do a reverse mortgage. Well, newsflash, not everyone owns a home. Not everyone has that opportunity to do a reverse mortgage, and they probably shouldn't be doing a reverse mortgage. And so I want to know what you guys have to say about this. So in the comments below, let me know. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.